They don't know. I miss up watching the man that don't know stuff and hear the voice, and this is Gather King 9 representing for DJ Shaka Double. Don't know so take it to the world, man. They don't know so glory to words and glory to song and glory to power. Glory to the everlasting life of iration. I miss a kick it. A God bless time, you know. In the morning, na 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 na. Give thanks for life. Shaka Double. Enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks for life. Remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks for life. DJ Shaka Double. Enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks for life. Shaka Double. Remember to always pray on your way. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Shaka Double playing. And the children are going to school. And the parents are going to work, yeah. Oh, what a beautiful morning. To feel the breeze is blowing. The blue saki and the kiskadi. The 6 o'clock bees, I heard her singing out. Cause life is the greatest gift Shaka Double bring to mankind. Some people say life hard. Shaka Double tell them so life hila. Yeah, give thanks and praise for the mighty rising. Don't give up, my brother. Don't give in, my sisters. Give thanks and praise every day. Shaka Double, give thanks to life. Cause some people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks to life. Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. Oh, what a beautiful life I came and I've reached. Give thanks and praise for Shaka Double, juggle big tune. Yeah. The children, they are the future. Shaka Double, don't discriminate them. More life for the youth them. Shaka Double, give thanks and praise for the babe and the suckling, yeah. Just give life, so live life. Not take life, let's cherish life. Let's unite in at this time. Shaka Double, upon the fire. Just give life, so live life. Not take life, let's cherish life. Let's unite in at this time when you see Shaka Double. Tell them, say, give thanks to life. Enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks to life. Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. Oh, what a beautiful morning. The sun is shining, and the children are going to school, and the parents are going to work, yeah. Oh, what a beautiful morning to hear Shaka Double playing. The blue saki and the kiskadi, the 6 o'clock bees, I heard her singing out. Give thanks to life. Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks to life. Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. I hear the voice. They don't know. I miss up watching the man that don't know stuff and hear the voice, and this is Gather King 9 representing for DJ Shaka Double. Don't know so take it to the world, man. They don't know so glory to words and glory to song and glory to power. Glory to the everlasting life of iration. I miss a kick it. A God bless time, you know. In the morning, na 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 na. Give thanks for life. Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks for life. Remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks for life. DJ Shaka Double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. Shaka Double, remember to always pray on your way. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Shaka Double playing, and the children are going to school, and the parents are going to work, yeah. Oh, what a beautiful morning to feel the breeze is blowing. The blue saki and the kiskadi, the 6 o'clock bees, I heard her singing out. Cause life is the greatest gift Shaka Double bring to mankind. Some people still life hard. Shaka double tell them so life hila. Yeah, give thanks and praise for the mighty rising. Don't give up, my brother. Don't give in, my sisters. Give thanks and praise every day. Shaka double, give thanks to life. Cause some people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks to life. Shaka double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka double, remember to always pray on your way. Oh, what a beautiful life I came and I've reached. Give thanks and praise for Shaka double, juggle big tune. Yeah. The children, they are the future. Shaka double, don't discriminate them. More life for the youths them. Shaka double, give thanks and praise for the babe and the suckling, yeah. Just give life, so live life. Not take life, let's cherish life. Let's unite in at this time. Shaka double, upon the fire. Just give life, so live life. Not take life, let's cherish life. Let's unite in at this time when you see Shaka double. Tell them, say, give thanks to life. Cause enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks to life. Shaka double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka double, remember to always pray on your way. Oh, what a beautiful morning. The sun is shining, and the children are going to school, and the parents are going to work, yeah. Oh, what a beautiful morning to hear Shaka double playing. The blue saki and the kiskadi, the 6 o'clock bees, I heard they singing out. Give thanks to life. Shaka double, enough people no live to see this day. Give thanks to life. DJ Shaka double, remember to always pray on your way. Give thanks to life. Shaka double, enough people no live to see this day. For you the voice.
All right. Blessed sunrise family. Oh, we're looking like my voice want, my camera want stick and everything already out. I don't know what's going on, but blessed sunrise. You know what I'm saying? Blessed love to each and every one that's out there. You know, it's still the opening few minutes to Reasoning Uncensored this morning. Miss Sophia, all the way down in Antigua. You know what I'm saying? My other host, you know what I mean? Blessed sunrise and CC there, putting checking on the chat on YouTube. You know, I placed the link on Facebook. I can't, I'm just doing what I got to do. Remaining focused because, you know, I'm not in control of their AI technology and over their governing stuff. I don't have a law team that's, you know, available and ready to be calling down and making sure that we can rectify whatever's been happening, because that's just how the thing goes, right? So that's including the part of the reasoning and conversation this morning, you know. So I can just continue playing one of my promo songs, Job This Logo, and then we can start a little reasoning just now, just in case if there's some, you know, people now getting the links, some little notification, who might be sharing or certain things at this moment. So, you know, just call by in a little time. I'll tell everybody no, and be synchronized and certain things in a certain way, then, you know, you won't have to come in nice and slow. You can come in with a blast. All right, blessed sunrise family. You know the thing go. This
is the Ryler Rock. Is the one and only Shaka Double. Don't forget to tune into Reasoning Uncensored, 8 to 10 a.m. Monday to Friday on all social media platforms.
Is Reasoning Uncensored. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something you remember. It's Reasoning Uncensored. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something you remember. I'm a baby in a stroller. In due time, I get to know ya. As we talking, the baby grow up, out the diaper, out the pole up. I had the last so, bring out wheelbarrow. Later they don't know tomorrow. mind, no enter. It's something you remember. It's reasoning and censor. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something you remember. One light up, one pour up, one reason, one sight up, one unite, no fight up. One round you shut, you skite up. E-lining, no time up. This morning, one night up. Just replay and vibes up. Start cheer like cake and slice up. It's reasoning and censor. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something you remember. It's reasoning and censor. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something you remember.
This is the Rider Rock. It's the one and only Shaka Double. Don't forget to tune into Reasoning Uncensored, 8 to 10 a.m. Monday to Friday on all social media platforms. I don't know. Let me go. I miss you. Blessed love, blessed sunrise, and even blessed moonlight too. Give thanks to life.
Wait, down and tell the people. Physical news coming your way.
You understand? Blessed sunrise, let me give thanks to life.
Let me give thanks to life. Miss Sophia, down in Antigua, what's going on? Heal up. You know what I'm saying? I was about to type it in, but I might as well just say it live. You know? So yeah, so this is welcome to Reasoning Uncensored. Blessed love to all of those and they're going out and they're coming in. You know what I'm saying? On your block, your street, your road, your lane, your avenue, your dirt road, your fancy pave. Whatever is your geographical location. Your little hut, your fancy apartment, your comfortable apartment, your big mansion, your comfortable house. Whatever is your geographical location, I hope that all is as well as it could be and as harmonious as it could be. You understand? Because we know if you're living in a place in a neighborhood that might be this time going through a little turmoil, then, you know, rising up early in the morning to a blessed sunrise and just meditating and getting into inner thoughts and wisdom when there might be bombs dropping or certain things going on, it's very unharmonious. Then, you know, it's a little difficult to do that. So, you know, I'm going to extend, you understand, blessed love to all those that might be in those situations. And at the same time, let me give thanks to life, right? Because we're here today, you know what I'm saying, with health and strength, sound mind, able to talk and communicate. Serious well, going straight into it. Yeah, and it's like I ain't even do my tree touch and all them things. When I'm home now, a little different. So we got to walk into a different kind of situation, you know. So this morning, you know, I was there and I catch the news and I said, well, you know, and I believe my my brethren, Mr. Nancy, has spoken somewhat, and I probably will held a forum over this cricket and thing. Now, I am not necessarily a avid cricket follower, and a lot of these subject matters and certain things might not be something that I'm indulged in full time, but at least I could offer some kind of analytical point of view and a perspective, you know. So it was interesting to see how, you know, since the World Cup is now coming to the United States for the first time, and of course Long Island is where the first match will be taking place. But I don't know if this is the first match, so let me get my information incorrect. But what I do know that there's a match on, which is one of the big ones, on June 9th, right? Just between India and Pakistan. And of course, from what I've heard through the grapevines, you know, their population and supportment and endorsement of cricket is also one of the major reasons, along with the Caribbean community, because we cannot be left out, and whoever else that participates in the love of that sport. But you know, it's a wonderful, interesting thing. So let me say something. Let me just play what they had on the news before, and then I can come and just put my little 2 cents on one thing. All right, blessed sunrise. Let me go.
Long Island's new cricket stadium will welcome its first fans starting tomorrow as they host a warm-up match in the T20 Cricket World Cup.
That's right. It has 34,000 seats and plenty of first-class amenities. JD Goldberg gives us a behind-the-scenes look.
The pitch looks picture perfect, according to the captains of the India and Bangladesh teams.
Can't wait to feel the atmosphere in the stadium, a decent capacity as well. It looks like a proper stadium.
They arrived in New York, and on Friday they got their first look at the Nassau County International Cricket Stadium in East Meadow ahead of their T20 Cricket World Cup warm-up match here on Saturday.
Taking up about 42 acres of the park.
This temporary 34,000-seat stadium at Eisenhower Park was built from the ground up in less than 4 months.
There's not a bad seat in the house. General access seating to the east and the west. And then north-south, we've got amazing hospitality facilities.
There's the terrace lounge and also the loge suites.
This is what we call our corner club. And then if you're lucky to be here, you've got a private bar area for about 75 people.
But the most exclusive of them all is the Diamond Club.
If the stars have been invited, they'll be here. This would be the place to be.
You get a view right down the line of the bowler, the pitcher, so you can see exactly what's going on. You get to go down on the field of play before the game.
This is the top row of the stadium. Seats up here start at $60 depending on the game. You're 100 feet up from this point, and on a good day, if you look closely, you can see the Manhattan skyline.
It's a Lego set of what is called modular stadium construction. All the top sporting events use it, and it's the first time for cricket.
It's also the first time the T20 World Cup will be held here in the United States, and as players and fans from all over the world descend on Long Island, food from each match will be tailored to each country playing.
We reflect the cultural diversity of the participants and the anticipated fans. So for an India-Pakistan game, you will get Indian-type cuisine, Pakistani-type cuisine.
Whether it's a fast bowl, spin, or googly, the countdown is on and the world will be watching.
T20 cricket is cricket's shortest form. It's a 3-hour game. It's high intensity, fast paced, excitement all the way.
On Long Island, Jody Goldberg, Fox 5 News.
So now, wonderful, you know what I'm saying, cricket, which we love and you know what I'm saying, we have a passion for, especially coming from the Caribbean diaspora. But before I get into anything, you know, you see the video now, right? If you check it, they're not promoting necessarily. There's not even an explanation of the sport, right? You know, if you want to get even people, I guess it's just promoted towards the people that already know the sport, which is fine, and that will come out. But that's a given, right? So when I'm listening to what they're saying, everything is about, it's about promoting the seats, it's about promoting the economics. Oh, we're gonna have the food, we're gonna have the cuisine, but they didn't even take, like, let's say 1 minute to explain. Well, cricket is a sport that goes like this, and there's a bowler, this, that, the outfielder, whether they use their hands or they use this, all the little highlights and certain things, no clips of the game, that, you know what I'm saying, of the excitement that he's talking about. Cricket is a fast-paced game, and you know what I'm saying, but you can clearly see this stadium was built in 4 months, right? It's an economical pitch. And one thing about the Western world is that anytime anything makes sense, right, then they'll eventually adapt it and pull it in. But they're gonna pull it in on the time frame when they can control it. When it's at a point where it's like out of their control and they're not necessarily the one and they're watching on it, like, and it's a little complicated, they start to come in, examine it first. And this is where you got to give the Westerner and the European their credit. And I think, like, especially for African descendants, if we understand that there is, right, a playing field and there is some kind of call it a human sport. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather that than a race, than the rat race, right? There's a human sport going on, and it involves ethnic groups. And if it's like playing against another team, you say Lakers and Pistons or whatever, right? And you got Knicks and this and that. You have different teams, and at certain points in time, the reason why one particular team might elevate to the championship point, obviously, is because, hey, there's something there, and there will be highlights about that team, right? Like, for example, I remember the Warriors when I was in my little sport phase at that time, and being compelled by the Steph Curry and the whole shooting, the threes and so forth, right? So that's what made that team strong team. So if you wanted to play in that sport against such a good team at that sport, then you would have to study the strategy to make that team strong and what they're using, how they execute it. And I think it's very, very important for us as African descendants. Yes, we know of all the negative or whatever, the challenging things that the European and the Westerners presented to us since our encounter. But it's very important for us to study who you're competing against. Because obviously, if you don't think that you're competing against them, they obviously feel they're competing against you. Right. And one of the things that they specialize in is studying and analyzing and then making a move in. Matter of fact, I wasn't even gonna go here, but I might as well since I want to since I already started like that. For example, when you examine history from the perspective of when the African was in Africa was what you would compare to the United States of America today and what England was at certain points in time and still is today in its respect. They just play the background. You understand what I'm saying? Puppet master. Even at that time, when the Greeks came in, and even the earliest Romans, they didn't come with the savagery to take over what was the pinnacle of what you would call civilization and the way that humanity should live, you know, in a social community. And that's what I'd all that call Marx foolishness, African socialism, okay? That natural thing that we did with villages and the village take care of its own, right? So when they came in, they came as students for hundreds, if not a couple, you know what I'm saying, over 1,000 years or so, studying, learning, taking back information into Europe, building it up, including our spiritual and you know, religious systems and scientific ways of existing, all of our technology, what they would call it today, right? And so the strategy has always been to study us before certain things, you know, are implemented. So when they're bringing cricket, it's no different to like soccer, what we know as football, because the market was there, but they didn't have the way to a means of how to control it at first, right? They didn't have enough involvement. They didn't have the, you know, the understanding of the blueprint. So when they got involved, studied it, and then they controlled it. And now what they have done is extract, right? When you look, like, I don't even watch it, like, to be honest, right? But I'm listening to people talk, right? Because I'm in the Caribbean community, especially when, you know, the football and soccer World Cup and stuff is on. And as of lately, I definitely heard conversations about the extraction, which is something I've been noticing and know what will happen. When I'm saying the extraction, I'm talking about the taking of players from the Caribbean and in Africa and so forth, where African descendants are, and because their country does not have the economics and the constructs or even the willingness, so to speak, even because some of them have the ability to, but it's just the willingness to even, you know what I'm saying, be serious enough to really do certain things. They're being extracted to the foreign teams. So now you're going to have France and Portugal or whatever teams that are strong in the soccer game. But when you look at the players and so forth, and some of the key players, they're extractions from other countries, right? So expect that to happen with cricket, okay? Because baseball, as much as people talk about, you know, football and basketball, actually the highest paid athletes, and once again, I'm never trying to be an over genius at nothing. I'm off sometimes, whatever. But I can show where it's off at. So anyway, no sidetracking. Baseball is actually the highest paid sport. Where I remember, at least in my time when I was coming up, baseball used to be, you know, the players are getting 100 and some million-dollar contracts and, you know what I'm saying, like outlandish numbers that you would not have found in the other sports. So I'm saying that to say that baseball has room to show the potential for what cricket can do in America. But of course, just like soccer and football, they will only allow it to be like kind of like temporary and seasonal. Even though football in America and so forth is temporary and seasonal, but the way how they do it is so it doesn't clash, it wouldn't conflict. And that it doesn't definitely, you know what I'm saying, try not to take over, so to speak. They try to keep the numbers to a certain level. But if it makes dollars and it makes sense, trust me, they're going to ride that. And I just think that baseball, just knowing baseball and what it is, cricket just has that flair too, also, but even has the potential of more energy and flair, even though it's known in the Caribbean to be the most boring of the sports games, right? Compared to like, you know, football, soccer, and some of the other stuff that we do, right? The rugby and whatever and certain stuff, right? So interesting, like I said, but it's economical, right? And it's once they're able and once they know how to control it. Like the marijuana, right? The weed. Long time Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, them was talking about it. A lot of other advocates were talking about it from the American perspective. What's that guy named? The country singer, something Nelson. Can't remember his name right now, the older cat. But I'm talking about from the Caribbean perspective, because Peter Tosh especially was a guy that used to say something like, you know, if America and these superpower countries, because they were the ones that were imposing the international law on the Caribbean countries. That's why when people say they're independent and we're celebrating independence, and you can't even say, yeah, we're independent, we could smoke marijuana up here. Y'all up there and abusing, terrifying y'all people where this natural product and resources. Look how crazy life and history is, because these superpowers who could not at that time, and I'm gonna get to the reason why in the Peter Tosh conversation. The reason why, because at that time, the technology, the greenhouse, the growing and using of artificial lights, the changing of now what they call the marijuana, the seedless era of marijuana. And if you know anything about the era and the time where the seed was the pride and why this was a herb to smoke, because it was a bud that had its own seed. And there's a certain science to that, but I'm not going to get into that. What I'm saying is what Peter Tosh was saying at that time, it was completely solar, meaning, and it was being smuggled and so forth from the Caribbean and the South Americas and so forth, and the Mexicos and so forth, places that were dominated by heat, solar power, because that's what was the requirement for original marijuana, ganja, herb, hemp, right? But once they were able to figure out greenhouse technology, oh, now they brought it through the window of the medical field, because now they have to find a window, because that was the window in which they threw it out of. Right? When during the 60s, the consciousness and the hippie movement and what was going on, so with the Black People Power movement, what was going on with the Rastafarian movement and so forth, that was the collective. Like I said, what do? They study things. And then when they studied and they realized, they said, hey, watch it. That's what part of the issue is, that marijuana, you know, that weed, that ganja, that Mary Jane. Right. And so they said, OK, good, we're going to legalize it. But they came from a medical standpoint. Oh, this thing sends you crazy. It does this, it does that. And then now they brought it back through the medical standpoint. Oh, it's healing. It does this and it does the same things that were said before. And then when we get to understand that the whole study that was said was a farce, and we know it, because that's one of the things that they also do. They wait till a generation of people and so forth are too old to fight back, too old to remember, or they're gone. And then when they bring back things in another time, the people are like, oh, we're celebrating this thing, and they forgot all about it in the past. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what Peter Tosh was alluding to, you know, the control. So once they were able to grow marijuana, now we can control the market. Oh, it's legal now. And those third world countries, so-called whatever, that's independent, where all this marijuana was going to, you were locking up people for one spliff for a year and 3 years and all those kind of ridiculous depriving of life. But listen to me, man. I'm telling you, this is why the situation how it is. And a lot of things ain't going to get rectified till those illusions is out, right? So now it's a little more leniency, because why? In America and this place in Canada and so forth, they have lifted and say, hey, y'all little so-called little independent, this and that. No, y'all get a little leniency. And yet still down there, if they want to, the police down there go, hey, this and that, and you still in a little situation, right? So let's understand those things. Brief little commercial, run into that, and then we'll be back. You understand? The Reasoning Uncensored. So, here's what. And big up everybody in the chat. I see Paul Hawker, you know what I'm saying? P7, Pablo G, the same man, the general, you know what I'm saying? Desiree Alert, blessings, you know what I'm saying? And Miss Sophia Wisdom B, of course, my host, you know what I mean? And listen, y'all know that they whatever going on Facebook, I ain't got time to trip out. But if y'all are able to tune in, I did paste the YouTube link on Facebook, and I did was able to send it to some people that's in my WhatsApp group. So if you're able to send that out and let people know, well, YouTube is where they could find me at, because whatever that situation is on Facebook, for those who can't find me on Facebook or Instagram, same company, then so it goes. So you know what? Even talking about that, let me go straight into what that's just gonna take me into where I need to go right now. Which is like copyrights, funding, and all this censorship, right? But from the perspective of the Caribbean and so forth, the conversation about copyrights and royalties and so forth, which comes down to the same controlling mechanism that's going on. And sometimes, and we're gonna get a little deeper in this conversation this morning, right? Because sometimes we actually forget the things that really have value, because we've allowed other people to come in and tell us how to interpret value, right? So you could probably play an old vintage reggae song that's a classic or something, and it wouldn't have a copyright infringement because of those times, et cetera, and et cetera. But look at this in today's age, even if your own personal music and you copyright it, you can't even play it on some of these platforms. The control, right? But coming from the African perspective, we don't understand why we're having such a difficulty in adjusting to a lot of things that the Westerners have introduced to us. Music, for one. Now, granted, time moves, and like Bob Marley said, because they were trying to ask Bob Marley that at one time, like, are you singing these songs about poor people and all that, and you're a millionaire right now? You know what I'm saying? He was like, listen, I do music, I'm a revolutionary. But if the design of this system is there's money that comes out of this music thing, and this is what is here, what I'm here doing, then let it be. I have nothing to, that's just going to be part of the process, right? And so what I'm saying is we valued words. And songs was not originally before the introduction of certain technology to make it commercialized. It was usually connected to something spiritual. And it was only until, people who they would call like the poets and so forth and other names from other cultures and so forth. There's even more Afrocentric names, but poet is suiting for right now. Even the emergence of the poets, they were found to be interesting because they were like psychologists and so forth, a scientist who would, now examine these very serious or just everyday things and sing songs about maybe cooking or how to grow a potato when there was a fight and an argument in the farm between the corn and the squash and the banana, right? And so he would introduce the knowledge of nature in that way. But besides that, the original place for the song was in a what you call a spiritual format. It was used to retain what you would call, they turned it into like what you call Psalms, right? You see, because they took the blueprint of what we had and they converted it, gave us their own little version of things, right? So what you would have called Psalms will be the original format of, and you would have to have some kind of understanding, for example, let's say Ifa, of a traditional system where you go and you seek what you call a consultation from another individual. And so the original way that that consultation goes is not just reading a card or doing whatever that reading is and so forth. After that scientific process is done, there's usually a formula, so to speak, a number, a phrase that comes out from that casting. And that is what is sung to that person, that phrase or stanza, because within that phrase or stanza, there is knowledge and wisdom. And so that was the original form of how serious we took word, sound, and power, right? That's what we say it is, right? Even today, coming from the Afrocentric perspective, right? So in the Caribbean, in the African diaspora and in Africa itself and so forth, where we have challenges with, we call copyright, because that's a European thing. Why? They built an industry. It's the same way like taxes. People in the Caribbean, they want certain systems. I can only use Guyana and so forth, whatever. We don't have this, we don't have that. It's not like America and this. These people had, because they decided to live here, but over 400 years of free labor. They went through so many different phases while that free labor was still going on, until it came to a serious point of what they call the Industrial Revolution, where they were able now to put their hands together down, because now we have plows and stuff instead of horses, and we don't need to use hoes and stuff no more, right? So understanding, same way we're talking about the marijuana, same way we're talking about the cricket, same way we're talking about the soccer and the football when it's necessary. Because if the technology and the industrial thing didn't come on, listen, it would have been a different kind of fight happening at this time to get to this point, right? So in the Caribbean, where in other third world, let me say third world countries, right, where we don't have that copyright thing because we didn't have that time of free labor that those colonial empires were built on, to create even what is known as the taxation, a tax system. Very intricate thing, right? Because that is basically what that copyright is basically about. And it's like taxes and owing taxes on sales, where things become a product, right? So the whole essence of the spiritualness, or whatever we originally were using word, sound, and power for, is not anymore in a certain sense, depending on how you choose to channel your energy, right? But yet still you have to play the same game that Bob Marley was talking about, regardless of how revolutionary or clear-minded you are, uncorrupted and so forth, right? It's the things, same way I'm getting into this conversation because of the Facebook and the Instagram and the censorship, right? And not being able to use and do certain things, the control mechanism, right? At one point in time, they're like, oh, these things are free. Go ahead, right? So in the Caribbean, they can't play paid copyrights. They don't have the economical foundation. This is why most artists in the first world countries, especially the Americas, are robbed, die poor, next to nothing, and at least next to nothing what you think or thought they have or had. So many, almost all. The scale is definitely unbalanced when it comes to that versus the success numbers and the wonderful stories. Right? So why is that? Because of the illusion of the owning. So on a certain level with the Caribbean and third world countries, they still have like this window and this void for things that are still like pure to happen, where you can function on a certain level. But because it's like, hey man, we gotta get this money, and you know what I'm saying, we're not in the thing, and you'll look at the views on the YouTube and the this and that. But I'm gonna tell you something, a lot of them views and a lot of stuff that's going on, it only benefits these companies that have the apps and so forth. The funding and so forth is definitely over exaggerated, right? What it is that you can use the marketing of that fan base, and if you can strategize yourself, maybe in that same line of business, but into other entities and platforms on the ground floor, on real time, booked in other places now, because you have used this platform to now go and be a public speaker, so to speak, and things like that or whatever. I guess I'm talking about myself, right? These are possibilities, but this is what those numbers can do. But the reality is, you know, you got to touch the floor, right? A lot of these people are worried about the copyrights and you're not getting paid and the views and this and that. A lot of artists, they got all these views and stuff, and I'm talking about up and coming and so forth, and the ones that seem to be doing whatever. And when they have events and so forth, all these numbers they got, you would expect that there should be lines around the corner and around 10 times. If you got hundreds of thousands of followers and views and millions of plays and all this kind of stuff, granted, it's collected because some people, there's from different parts of the world and all that. Yes, okay, good, part of the demographics. But trust me, but that means you ain't utilizing the groundwork of where you are. And even in those places that you go to, supposedly you have this demographics, like I said, the line ain't wrapped around the corner. So the numbers and the exaggeration is out. It's really something to really understand, right? So our culture definitely you know, has a lot to start to examine until we take that play card out, that playbook that the Westerners do, where they examine, study, and then apply gradually, slowly, however, but study and doing it. You know, for example, when you say to people, hey, let's examine the civil rights movement, you say that something like 90% of what the outcome of the civil rights movement was not good. You're gonna get up, what? This and that in the dispute, but it's supposed to be what? Oh, what, that's perspective. And you should have an open enough mind. It's just like anybody who has an open mind for criticism and what they call it, constructive criticism and stuff like that. Positive criticism, where it's not a judgment. So we have to, unless we're able to do that and say, hey, when Martin Luther King and certain things about integration. Now we're talking about sports, right? We started talking about cricket and sports and so forth, coming to America and all these different things, right? That was one of the things that from the civil rights movement, that was a no-no, that the assimilation of the African descendants, the black, as they would say those times, sports teams and sports organizations that we had in almost every category that we found appealing, especially in the United States of America, is what I'm talking about, right? Where you had your own basketball and football and baseball and all this kind of stuff. And then they used Jackie Robinson as that model, brought him over during that assimilation time and civil rights And now today, you have all of these, they gave up, none of the owners came over. They only took the players, the ownership, the building up. That went out the window. Because why? They had the money. Hey, you want some? We could pay you some more money, man. Don't worry, that Negro League. You know what I'm saying? This is the same thing like what happened in the Caribbean when I was talking about the extraction of the athletes. Now that you have football, soccer on a certain level, when the cricket gets a certain, you're going to see the extraction from this country that could to the first world countries, right? So it's not a now thing. So today, when you look at it and you have athletes and you have, you know, your Kyrie and you want to use him as an example, the Kaepernicks or whoever, and you don't know how to play that you know, that LeBron game that he learned from Jay and a couple other folks, right? That, you know, you do a few proactive things, but you can't really talk because this company got these deals and so forth. Now that you come into these people, organizations have gagged you. That you can't really talk about your people in an upright manner like that, because they will remind you, like Kyrie, that listen, you have a platform where you're meeting. See, that's when your numbers count. Because that's for those people, it hits people now on the ground floor. If you can market those numbers. So imagine if these athletes that have a voice, we don't even know how intelligent some of our athletes could be, or how intelligent or, you know, prolific and even, you know, strong they would be towards a struggle for betterment. Yes, and for our people. But because of this gag order, they're like, listen, man, I can't even play that game. I just got to get to this money because, yo, that type of game that they play, when you start doing that, like, I can't afford it. I got mouths to feed. I got kids. I got baby mamas, whatever. Got these big houses, these cars, the situation, the lifestyle. And then it's just a lot to go take the risk for. Look at Kaepernick. They make the example. To be like, do you want to be like that? Look at that. All of that. It's a little space of time. You get all that. But what's really going on? Right? And those are part of the things that we have to consider. Right? Because when they went over into that due to the civil rights movement. Now imagine if all those athletes and still the growing of those sports, but we had the control, and we're selling those tickets, and we're going there. And then our athletes today could have put their money in different places, put their mouth where their money is, and we would be also able to do that too. But that wasn't it. But those are parts of the conversations we got to be willing to have. All right, it's Reasoning Uncensored. Let's go. I'm gonna play a little clip from Tupac. You know, very interesting individual, like I said, man. From the moment I visioned this brother on the second night of his you know, his situation, you know, it's been a very spiritual type of thing. Anyway, let's go.
This world is such a and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped. Just, you know, I feel like instead of us just being like, slavery's bad, slavery's down, bad whitey. I mean, all right, let's stop that. And everybody's smart enough to know that, I mean, we've been slighted. And we want ours. And I don't mean by like ours, 40 acres and a mule, because we're past that. But we need help. I mean, for us to be on our own 2 feet, us meaning youth or us meaning black people, whatever you want to take it for us to be on our own 2 feet, we do need help. Because we have been here. We have been a good friend. If you want to make it a relationship type thing, we have been there, and now we deserve our payback. It's like you got a friend that you don't never look out for. You know, you dressed up in jewels. Now America's got jewels, and they paid and everything, and they lending money to everybody except us. And it's like, you know, everybody need a little help on their way to being, you know, self-reliant. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing about the album, about the Special Olympics. Everybody need a little something to be independent. No independent person just grew up and was born independent. You worked and you learned teamwork and you learned cooperation and unity and struggle, and then you became independent. And we have to teach that and instill that. And why is it that they want to do that? I mean, if this is truly a melting pot in the country where we care about it, and Lady Liberty got a hand like this, she really loves us, then we really need to be like that. And it needs to be the black kids. If there's a white person who got money, then he need to help them. He need to help black kids, Mexican kids, Korean kids, whatever. But it need to be real. And it need to be before we all die, and then you say, oh, I made a mistake. We should have gave them some money. We really should have helped these folks. It's going to be too late. You know what I'm saying? And then that's when you got to pay your own karma. And that's when God make you punish. When God punishes you. Because I feel like, you know, it's too much money here. I mean, nobody should be hitting lotto for $36 million and we got people starving in the streets. That is not idealistic. That's just real. That is just stupid. There's no way Michael Jackson should have, or whoever Jackson, should have $1,000,000 billion and then there's people starving. There's no way. There's no way that these people should own planes and their people don't have houses, apartments, shacks, drawers, pants.
We say to people that say, well, they earned it. Now you go out and you're earning it.
If they earned it, then I think that that's good, and I think that they deserve it. But even if you earned it, you still owe. Because look at me, I don't have that mega money, but I feel guilty walking by somebody. I got to give them some mail. And if I know I got $3,000 in my pocket, I feel like it's wrong to give that person a quarter or $1. It's wrong. Only you know what you got in your pocket. And that's wrong. No matter what they do, if they take it and drink it, they take it and drink it. But, I mean, you got. You understand? And we all know how hard it is, and it's not about if you good or you bad. So since it's not about if you good or you bad, we know that because he don't got don't mean he was bad. Or don't mean he's a criminal, or don't mean he's crazy, or a drug addict, or none of that. It just means he don't got. And ain't it bad that you got 30? I mean, can you imagine somebody having $32 million? $32 million. And this person has nothing, and you can sleep. You can still go to the movies about, I mean, and then these are the type of people that get humanitarian awards. Millionaires. How can they be humanitarians? By the fact that they millionaires and there's so many poor people shows how unhumane they are. You know what I'm saying? And that bugs me. Not saying that when I'm never going to be rich, and you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying it's a struggle, and I think everybody deserves. And I think there's a way to pay these people. I think there is a way. It just takes to be revolutionary. And it takes to do something out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that if we just said, okay, I got an idea. No more porno buildings. You know what I'm saying? Let's build houses. Or no more polo games. Let's build houses for poor people. You know what I'm saying? Or, look, okay, I know you're rich. I know you got $40 billion. But can you just keep it to one house? You only need one house. And if you only got 2 kids, can you just keep it to 2 rooms? I mean, why have 52 rooms and you know there's somebody with no room? It just don't make sense to me. It don't. And then these people celebrate Christmas. They got big trees, huge trees, all the little trimmings. Everybody got gifts, and then somebody's starving. And they're having a white Christmas. They're having a great Christmas, eggnog and the whole 9. That's not fair to me.
All right. Miss Lovely, what's going on? I see your name there. You know what I'm saying? Miss Desiree Alert. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for joining. You know what I'm saying? You know, love is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? And we are, this is what Tupac was talking about, even on that level, of mentioning, you know, support, how we should support each other, and people, we all need some kind of help along the way. And thank y'all, thank you, Miss Sophia, and a lot of other people's, Pablo G. I don't know if they're still on, but whoever was on and so forth, you know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for y'all love and support. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely appreciated, you know, for real. But, you know, you see Pac was touching on, and look at that. That was in the 90s. And he said, take like Trump. That's why when I went over and I was just like randomly said, let me check on some Tupac interviews and see if anything might be a little relevant to my conversation and reasoning this morning. And, you know, it's just like the music I used to play. These little clips and so forth that I'm playing now is relevant to the reasoning, right? Because I'm not playing the music anymore. So it gives a little chance to have some more dialect and a little bit more reasoning, you know. But some of the things that he touched on, very important. But for example, look at the music industry, right? You will hear something like, you know, and I might be a little wrong with the numbers. Like I said, it's the concept and what I'm talking about. Let's get the point. Not miss the point because of details and all this other stuff. So let's say they say Bad Boy Records, Death Row Records, these legendary labels in America that you know what I'm saying, responsible for rap and hip hop, right? And taking it to the level that it's at today for it to be exploited on a certain level. And it was being exploited even then. But they would say they sold 150 million records, right? Or they sold 200 million records. And the thing with it is, let's just say 100 million records. And if you take an average of $20, let's say, that was in album sales or something like that. I don't want to get into how you're going to crunch the differences, but let's just say, to round it off for just a general look, times that 20 by 100 million. And if I'm not mistaken, it'll probably get you like a 2 billion or maybe 20 billion if my thing is a little off, whatever. You get the point, right? And so they're doing these type of sales all the time. So it's billions of dollars, and this is not, and so records are not the only thing, right? So this is why they're able to create what you call that, copyright industry and so forth, based on these sales, the amount of money that's in this industry, and then the advertisement, the different ways that the artists are plugged in. You know what I'm saying? Such as like a Rihanna and certain other artists that, I mean, there are many other artists that brand and do their own things, but someone like Rihanna is when she gets to that billionaire status, it's not just because she's popular like that in certain things. The record company of itself also had provided an infrastructure of, you know what, multi-billion-dollar companies. They know that they can come to this record label and these executive and this artists and say, listen, we have a product that we're launching. It's not even launched yet. We just need you to be the face of this product, to this, that, you can own it, to this, and so forth, and things are worked out, right? So, the whole situation with owning music, I think we should be concentrating on what is it that we can do with this music. They had a judge, they got a judge, Judge Joe Brown, right? Used to be on TV, and he was speaking, and I was very surprised at something he said on his podcast recently that I saw, when he said, the music, and this is an older cat, he's in his 70s, right? So certain little things is from a little old school perspective, but it's still on point because he has that longevity of knowledge that he can still compare to this time, and living in a certain time frame that we don't, coming from a shorter time frame. So what he said was, there was one music, and this is from Judge Joe Brown, right? The African American descendant, and so he says there used to be one music that offered the opportunity for revolution and rebellion, and that was reggae music, right? He said at one point rap, hip hop tried a little bit, but reggae was definitely that music. But then he came and said, but you know what? It's now reggae music is even fading from being that music that can do that, because it has moved into, he said, more like soca and what he called and some other thing. But basically he's saying that the reggae has gone pop and mainstream, where it was the vehicle of such as the Bob Marleys and the Peter Toshes and the Third Worlds and Black Uhus and these major groups, and even from Guyana, certain levels, you want to put even Eddie Grant in there from a certain perspective, right? And so what reggae was known to do, is that still what it's doing? Is that still the effect? Does Rasta still carry that weight? Has Rasta evolutionized with the time? Have they made use of, I mean, there's so much merch and so forth that can be obtained. They're sold and done, but yet still, right, there's not a clear Rasta industry where, like myself, when I was a young teenager and so passionately and into Rasta, and clearly you can tell I'm not a fool, right? Got some kind of intelligence. It's not going to be one of those Rasta youths that, oh yeah, you just smoke weed and stuff like that, but there's nothing else behind it, right? So, but then there's no industry, there's nothing that has been done with that energy. So then this is what happened. It starts to dissipates, and it starts to go into directions that are not necessarily the best. All right. So let me play. It's getting on to an hour. You know, when I come on this platform now, I try to, you know, because I'm starting it over in the Facebook situation. I'm not taking it too long. You know, I try to do maybe like an hour and a little bit over an hour. And also I noticed that during those time frames, that's also when the videos start to pause and they start to do all kind of funny things. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't like that. All right. So we're just gonna get back into another commercial, and then I'm just gonna wrap it up for the day. And listen, we still got a lot of things to cover for the week. It's the top of the week on this Monday. It's my son's birthday. My 9-year-old Mr. Ethan Tabasca. Listen, my son was with me for the weekend, and well, my sons are two of them. And so, you know, for his birthday, he wanted to record a song. So I'm gonna try to get his little song mixed down or do a little thing of what I could do and put it out on the Facebook today and in the Instagram or whatever. And y'all just tell me what y'all think about Lil E. I don't know what he want to call himself. I gotta ask him. For me, I'm just gonna call him Lil E for right now. Okay. So blessed love family, blessed sunrise. Good to see everyone that was able to make it and I was able to stay tuned. And so for whether you commented or whether you're just looking on or whatever the case might be, I appreciate your presence. Thank you. Ashayo. Welcome back, you know what I'm saying, to Reasoning Uncensored. It is I, Delroy LaRock, aka Shaka Double. I just realized I didn't even put up my name banner and stuff this morning. It's all going on with me. You understand? But anyway, there we go. All right, I forgot to put up my little thing. But listen, so tomorrow, like I said, I don't like to go over the hour, but what I'm gonna do is at least kind of like set the stage. I'm gonna just try that for this morning of some of what our conversation and reasoning for tomorrow will be about, and it has a perspective because it's gonna lead me to ask you a few questions because I definitely have a intuition. You see how Tupac in that video since in the 90s talked about, you know, they want you to be like Trump, just take, right? If you missed that video clip, you could always rewind it. It's on YouTube. But I have a prediction in pertains to Trump and his return to the presidency. All right. And so part of that will be some of our conversation during this week and so forth, because that's what we're talking about. Examining, really be critical with our examination of things, especially history and time, strategies, things that are done, whether it's in sports, entertainment, law, music, whatever, right? But let's get into this thing. I just saw something this morning. They're taking sewer water and purifying it and making beer. So you know what I'm saying? Listen, you're gonna get extra drunk just now. So for tomorrow, this is part of what we're going to. And stay tuned because it's gonna have a little, I'm gonna take it somewhere based on my prediction. Let's go.
And memorials are taking place across the United States to mark 22 years since the attacks on 9/11. Nearly 3,000 people were killed that day in what remains the deadliest terror attack on U.S. soil.
Those events led to the so-called global war on terror. But many analysts believe the biggest threats America faces today are on its own doorstep. William Denso reports from New York.
The attacks on 9/11 changed the face of public safety in the US. The first director of the Office of Homeland Security was appointed just 11 days after the Twin Towers fell, and the New York Police Department created a counterterrorism bureau.
So many surveillance resources were used to unconstitutionally target Muslim New Yorkers, Arab New Yorkers, South Asian New Yorkers, and really surveil their homes, schools, houses of worship.
Michael Bloomberg, who became mayor of New York City just months after the attacks, said this.
You know what I'm saying? So tune in tomorrow. And we're gonna go. Let me see, go into the comments and see. I don't like to miss. You know what I'm saying, Miss Sophia? All right. Bless up. Give thanks. Okay, I would tell him happy birthday. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So yes, tomorrow I'm going to touch up on what's going on. They say domestic terrorism and so forth. How long maybe y'all want to stay up in here? You know, if I know. Blessed sunrise, blessed love family. Enjoy your day, top of this Monday, June the 3rd. And blessed love. All right. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Give thanks for life. All right. And that's all for me for today and right now.
They don't know. I'm Mr. Up, watching the man that don't know stuff and hear the voice. And this is Gather King 9, representing for DJ Shaka Double. Don't know, so take it to the world, man. They don't know, so glory to words and glory to song and glory to power. Glory to the everlasting life of iration. I'm Mr. Kick It. A God bless time, you know.
This is the Ryler Rock. Is the one and only Shaka Double. Don't forget to tune into Reasoning Uncensored. 8 to 10 a.m. Monday to Friday on all social media platforms.
Is Reasoning Uncensored. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something you remember. Is Reasoning Uncensored. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something you remember. I'm a baby in a stroller. In due time, I definitely know ya. As we talking, the baby grow up, out the diaper, out the pull up. I had the last so don't not real borrow. Here today, don't know tomorrow. Subscribe, like and follow. We deep, we ain't shallow. Is Reasoning Uncensored. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something.
You know I got to do it. That's my video thing. Somebody report me. So I'm showing little pieces of it and so go. Miss Sophia, what happened is I gotta figure out because I'm on my laptop, I wouldn't know how to send you a link to bring you in right now, like on the fly. But let me once I've that's a good thing. So next time I'll be prepared. You understand? So maybe tomorrow. Blessed love family.
This is the Ryler Rock. Is the one and only Shaka Double. Don't forget to tune into Reasoning Uncensored. 8 to 10 a.m. Monday to Friday on all social media platforms.
Is Reasoning Uncensored. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something you remember. Is Reasoning Uncensored. No smoke screen, no filter. Open mind, no enter. It's something you remember. I'm a baby in a stroller. In due time, I definitely know ya. As we talking, the baby grow up, out the diaper, out the pull up. I had the last so don't not real borrow. Here today, don't know tomorrow. Subscribe, like and follow. We deep, we ain't shallow. Is Reasoning Uncensored. No smoke screen,